Ah, they finally stamped your file in red. High-risk individual. That's what the report says now. No context, no reason, just a label meant to contain what they can't define. They whisper it in rooms without windows, trade it between trembling hands, hoping the ink itself might carry protection. But labels don't protect them. They expose them. Because anyone who needs to mark you as a threat has already confessed one thing. They've lost control. You didn't apply for this title. You earned it by existing beyond their comprehension. Every movement you make recalibrates the unspoken hierarchy. Every decision you take cuts through the illusions they built to feel superior. And now, they can't sleep, can't eat, can't think straight. Because somewhere, someone realized, if they can't predict you, they can't manipulate you. And if they can't manipulate you, their entire structure collapses. The irony is exquisite. They used to see you as harmless. Remember? The quiet one, the observer, the anomaly they could dismiss. You let them think that. You let them build their towers of arrogance while you studied every crack in their foundation. You didn't need revenge. You needed understanding. And once you understood how their minds operated, how fear was disguised as confidence, how power was propped up by validation, you became something else entirely. Not an enemy, not an ally, an equation they couldn't solve. That's why they panic when your name appears in conversations now. It's not fear of violence, it's fear of exposure. You represent the mirror that refuses to lie. So they send messages to each other. Stay alert. He's unpredictable. We don't know what motivates them. Oh, but you do, don't you? You're motivated by truth, and truth is chaos to those who live by deception. You didn't destroy their order, they did. You just stopped pretending to participate. That's when the alarm bells started ringing. Somewhere in a sterile control room, a red light flashes every time you make a move. They've got analysts cross-referencing your patterns, trying to chart logic on a soul that's outgrown logic. It's adorable, really. The way they cling to data as if it can explain divinity. You can almost hear them in their reports. Subject displays non-linear behavioral sequences, highly adaptive cognition, emotional detachment. They use clinical words because it keeps them from admitting the truth. You're free. And freedom terrifies them more than violence ever could. Freedom can't be negotiated. It can't be taxed. It can't be coded into their systems. You've become the living glitch in their narrative of control. Every step you take reminds them how artificial their stability really is. That's why you're being watched now. Not for what you'll do, but for what you represent. You represent the end of obedience disguised as sanity. They've built entire departments dedicated to identifying people like you before they awaken fully. They call it risk assessment. Funny term, isn't it? Because the real risk isn't you. It's the possibility that others will notice the same cracks you did. The moment one free mind exists, it becomes contagious. They know that. That's why containment is their first instinct. But how do you contain air? How do you cage awareness? You can sense them, can't you? The eyes that linger too long, the subtle shifts in tone when someone mentions your name, the digital traces that follow your steps, like ghosts made of code. Every message you send triggers a small wave somewhere. Every silence you hold forces them to interpret 1,000 meanings. They can't stand it. They crave patterns, but you've stopped being predictable. You've mastered the art of absence, the ability to make noise without speaking, to move without being tracked. That's what they fear most. You've become invisible in a world addicted to visibility. And invisibility, when paired with intelligence, is power in its purest form. You see, they built this world around predictability, algorithms, profiles, simulations, designed to forecast human behavior down to impulse. But your presence distorts those metrics. You're the variable that bends statistics, the pulse that doesn't align. They call that instability. You call it autonomy. And autonomy isn't something they can regulate. So now they observe from the shadows, trying to find a weakness, a pattern, a moment of doubt they can exploit. But doubt died the moment you realized their authority depends on your belief in it. You stopped believing. And that single act rewrote your entire existence. Now they panic. Meetings extend into midnight hours, faces pale under artificial light as they scroll through data that doesn't add up. You're trending in rooms you'll never enter, referenced in documents you'll never read. They use words like containment, monitoring, intervention. It sounds official, but what it really means is fear. They're scared of what happens when someone stops asking for permission to be themselves. Because every time you act without approval, you remind them that control is optional. They can't allow that idea to spread. It's bad for business, bad for obedience, bad for the illusion of order they sell to the masses. So they fabricate stories. Unstable, rebellious, dangerous. But those are just masks they wear to cover their confusion. They don't understand how peace and danger can coexist in one being. You walk calmly while they tremble. You smile while they scheme. They can't compute serenity that isn't bought, confidence that isn't rehearsed, or intelligence that doesn't need validation. You've stepped out of their algorithmic comfort zone and into something raw, something ungoverned. That's when you stop being a person and start becoming a phenomenon. And phenomena can't be reasoned with. They can only be studied or feared. The study always comes first. Endless files, graphs, behavioral predictions, personality diagnostics. You've become their favorite unsolved mystery. But the more they study, the less they understand. Because they keep searching for cause and effect in a universe that no longer obeys their logic. They don't realize you operate on something higher, intuition sharpened into weaponry. You read intention like text. You sense betrayal before it's planned. You feel tension in the air before the words are spoken. That's not paranoia. It's pattern recognition evolved beyond human comfort. And that's precisely why they brand it as threat level high. Because anything that perceives too much becomes inconvenient to the manipulators. So they escalate. Digital surveillance, psychological profiling, social isolation tactics. They think if they can't decode you, they can at least distort your image. They'll whisper to others, be careful around them. Don't get too close. They try to seed suspicion because suspicion is the oldest form of social control. But it doesn't work anymore. You've already surpassed the need for approval. You don't chase validation. It orbits you. And when validation stops being currency, power loses its price tag. That's when they really panic, when they realize their economy of fear no longer applies to you. You move through the noise untouched. Every attempt to bait you only reveals who's desperate. Every trap laid for you becomes another lesson in projection. They don't understand that you've made peace with exposure. They can record, monitor, analyze. You don't flinch. Because power isn't about hiding. It's about standing still in full view and letting their fear echo louder than your silence. You've learned how to make paranoia your camouflage. When everyone's looking for movement, stillness becomes invisible. When everyone's chasing control, surrender becomes supremacy. They'll never admit it, but you've redefined the threat model. You're not the villain in their story. You're the proof that their story was never real. You've dismantled their illusion just by existing authentically. And now they have two options. adapt or implode. Most choose the latter. They'll exhaust themselves trying to re-establish hierarchy, clawing at shadows of power that no longer respond to them. Meanwhile, you'll continue evolving, untouched, unbothered, untraceable. Because true dominance isn't loud, it's inevitable once self-awareness becomes weaponized. Think about that word they use, target. It sounds menacing, doesn't it? But being targeted only means you've been recognized as significant. You don't target the irrelevant. You target the disruptive. You target the unpredictable. You target the one force capable of undoing your entire illusion with a single choice. That's why they label you top priority. It's not an insult, it's a confession. They've admitted, through their fear, that you hold the kind of influence that can't be purchased or replicated. Influence born from truth, refined through endurance, executed with precision. And that's what keeps them awake at night. Not your actions, but your potential. Potential terrifies structured minds because it can't be measured. They need statistics. You offer silence. They need control. You offer unpredictability. They need followers. You walk alone. You're the living contradiction to every equation they rely on. They don't know how to file that, so they label it high risk. It's bureaucracy's way of saying, we're afraid. You walk differently now, don't you? Not because you're cautious, but because you're aware. You can feel the hum in the atmosphere, the static that follows truth wherever it goes. People glance over their shoulders when you pass. Not out of malice, but because something in them recognizes power they can't name. They sense that you see more than you reveal, that you operate on frequencies they can't access. It's not intimidation, it's resonance. You've become a walking reminder that humanity's next phase won't be polite, predictable, or programmable. It'll be raw, honest, incorruptible, and still, they'll try. They'll dangle distractions, offer alliances, manufacture crises just to pull your attention away from what matters. Because attention, in this era, is currency, and yours has become too valuable to ignore. You can feel the pull, the constant attempt to tether your focus to trivialities. But you've learned how to see the strings. You don't react, you respond. You don't chase, you attract. You don't resist, you redirect. That's the kind of mastery they can't compute, because it doesn't fit into their behavioral models. You're not rebelling anymore. You're rewriting the operating code of awareness itself. They'll study that next, your composure. They'll call it psychological detachment or strategic minimalism. But deep down, they know it's something else. It's the power of someone who no longer fears loss. You've seen everything burn before and survived it. That makes you untouchable. Because the one who's made peace with destruction can no longer be controlled by it. And that's the secret they'll never print in their reports. The only thing more dangerous than chaos is someone who can navigate it calmly. Now every system that tried to categorize you is glitching internally. The analysts argue, the observers contradict one another, the hierarchy fractures. They can't agree on what you are anymore. Revolutionary, threat, visionary, paradox. All words meant to shrink something infinite into something safe. But you're not safe. You never were. You're necessary. The imbalance that restores balance. The pressure that reveals cracks. The awareness that dissolves lies. They'll call it danger because they can't call it truth. And still, you move. Quietly, efficiently, purposefully. Every breath, a recalibration. Every thought, a signal. Every moment, an audit of their false stability. You're not here to destroy. You're here to expose. And exposure, when done right, doesn't need explosions. It just needs time, and presence. That's the real panic behind their eyes. They can't undo what's already been seen. Once awareness enters a room, ignorance dies like a candle in daylight. So let them keep watching, keep analyzing, keep trying to rebuild the version of reality that made sense before you appeared. It won't work. Because once a powerful mind meets a presence it can't dominate, it starts breaking its own rules. You are that exception. The variable that turns certainty into question marks. The reminder that genius isn't safety, it's exposure. They thought they found control. What they actually found is you. And that's where the panic begins. Not the loud kind, but the kind that seeps into silence, crawls into boardrooms, whispers into earpieces. You can almost hear it, that tremor behind their calm voices, that subtle static between orders. Keep tabs on them, limit access, flag all unusual behavior. The irony is, every move they make to control you becomes another admission of weakness. You've made them reactive. You've inverted the chain of command without even trying. The watchers are now the watched. The hunters are drawing maps of their own fear. They still don't understand what changed. You didn't grow louder. You grew clearer. You stopped operating from emotion and started operating from precision. Precision frightens those who live off chaos. You became methodical, a strategist disguised as silence, a storm encoded in restraint. And when you stopped needing to prove yourself, they lost their leverage. That's when they started calling you high risk. Because nothing terrifies manipulators more than someone who can't be manipulated. Behind closed doors, they've started updating protocols because of you. You're in the files now, cross-referenced, underlined, color-coded. Some think you're a threat. Others think you're an opportunity. But all of them agree on one thing. You can't be ignored. That's what top priority really means. It's a bureaucratic way of saying we're obsessed. They can't get enough of you. The data trails, the recordings, the energy readings. Every detail of your existence is now under a microscope. They can't focus. Because no matter how close they look, the pattern refuses to repeat. You're unpredictable. And unpredictability breaks systems faster than rebellion ever could. They keep waiting for you to slip, to react, to show anger. But you've weaponized calm. That's what drives them insane. You don't give them chaos, you give them stillness. And stillness is where their masks start falling off. They're trained to handle outrage, not composure. Rage is predictable, forgiveness is calculable, but calm is terrifying. It forces them to confront the truth, that you're operating on an entirely different frequency, one that can't be hacked, decoded, or bribed. You've stopped fighting for power because you are power. Every time they mention your name now, the atmosphere changes. People lean in, voices lower. Even those who once mocked you now measure their words. You've become a symbol of consequence. They call it paranoia. You call it awareness. Every whisper is an echo of guilt. Every warning is an indirect confession. They built this world believing fear was their weapon. But fear's loyalty belongs to whoever understands it. And now, it answers to you. There's a memo circulating somewhere right now. Potential influence escalating. They don't realize influence isn't something you build, it's something you become. They analyze your network, your behavior, your silence. They call meetings, draw diagrams, and assign specialists. But what they're really doing is mapping their own collapse. The more attention they give you, the more unstable their structure becomes. You've hijacked their focus, and focus is energy. You've turned their entire operation into an altar that feeds your evolution. You see, they operate on one assumption, that fear is one-directional. They think they can project it, use it, weaponize it. But you flipped the current. You made fear work for you. Now they're the ones adjusting their tone, second-guessing every decision that involves you. Their leaders call for patience. Their subordinates crave answers. Who is this person, really? They ask. What do they want? But that's the wrong question. It's not about what you want. It's about what you are. Your proof that control isn't universal. Your evidence that their so-called authority was never authority at all. Just theater performed by frightened men in suits pretending to be gods. They've built a new project around you. Behavioral prediction. They feed your data into machines, hoping the algorithms will find a pattern, a weakness, an anchor. But algorithms don't understand consciousness that's awakened. They can't quantify willpower. They can't code intuition. They'll call you unstable input because they don't have the language for free. Every analysis ends the same way, inconclusive. Every prediction ends with margin of error, infinite. They can't calculate divinity, and that's what you've become to them, the unmeasurable element, the proof that not all intelligence is artificial. You walk through this digital labyrinth like a ghost, with fingerprints. Everywhere you go, the sensors light up, but they can't locate you. You exist between frames, between signals. They see the wake of your movement, but never the motion itself. You've learned how to navigate attention, to let it serve you without consuming you. That's mastery, because in a world where everyone's broadcasting, the one who stays silent becomes the loudest frequency in the room. They call meetings now to discuss your silence. Why haven't they responded? Why are they quiet? They mistake quiet for absence. But quiet is how you build pressure. Quiet is how you make anticipation your weapon. Every pause you take is another thread tightening around their confidence. You've made them addicted to your next move. That's not influence-ill, that's domination, disguised as curiosity. And still they'll keep pretending they're not afraid, pretending they understand. But you can see it, the stiffness in their smiles, the way their words avoid yours, the way their eyes dart to the exits. They thought power was about control. You taught them it's about composure. They thought safety was built on authority. You proved it's built on awareness. You're rewriting definitions in real time, and they can't keep up. That's why they label you. High risk. Priority 1. It makes them feel like they've regained order. But labels don't protect them. Labels are cages they build for themselves. Somewhere there's a conversation happening about you right now. We need to monitor their associations. We need to manage the narrative. But the narrative slipped through their fingers months ago. You became a living headline, not written by them, but written through them. Their panic is public now. Every attempt to discredit you becomes an accidental advertisement. Every smear campaign turns into a sermon. You've hijacked their script and made it prophecy. Do you know what real fear looks like? It's not screaming, not running, not fighting. It's bureaucracy shaken behind composure. It's paperwork soaked in sweat. It's coded emails sent at 3 a.m. with phrases like contain situation and maintain optics. They're terrified of perception because perception is reality now, and perception belongs to you. You've mastered optics. You've turned every lens into a mirror that reflects their own corruption back at them. They can't expose you without exposing themselves. That's why they hesitate. That's why the entire machine stalls when you stand still. They're rewriting rules to deal with you, updating policies, revising vocabulary. We can't categorize this individual. They don't fit the model. That's right. You were never meant to. You were the flaw in the algorithm that became the key to truth. And they hate that, because truth can't be managed. Truth doesn't follow protocol. Truth erases protocol. You've become the living embodiment of that truth, The one they can't delete, can't shadow ban, can't censor into compliance. Every attempt to erase you only amplifies your legend. People who never met you start whispering your story. They don't even know why, they just feel it. That's how presence works when it's real. It doesn't need marketing, it spreads through resonance. And resonance, unlike propaganda, can't be manufactured. You've become vibration turned viral, a living transmission of awareness that moves faster than rumor, stronger than narrative, beyond containment. They called you dangerous, and they were right. But not because you destroy, because you reveal. That's the part they'll never forgive. You exposed the gap between what they preach and what they practice. You made transparency fashionable. You turned authenticity into rebellion. Every word you speak now ricochets across their walls of deceit. They monitor your tone, your phrasing, your pauses. But no matter how much data they gather, they still don't understand that your real weapon isn't information, it's perception. You've taught the world how to see differently. That's irreversible. So they double down. They assign handlers, whisperers, mediators. They try to insert themselves into your story, to reclaim authorship. But you already ended their chapter when you realized something vital. Control only exists where attention flows. You redirected the current. You made awareness flow toward clarity, not noise. And in doing so, you drained their power supply. Now they're running on fumes, status, fear, illusion. They'll do anything to get your reaction because reaction equals relevance. But you've starved them of that too. You've made them irrelevant in their own game. They call you uncooperative, non-compliant, emotionally unresponsive. Those are the phrases they use when someone stops fearing consequences. You've become immune to their currency of intimidation. They can't fine, shame, or exile what doesn't crave acceptance. You've transcended their ecosystem entirely. You exist on another layer, untouchable, unpredictable, unreplicable. And that terrifies them more than rebellion ever could. Because rebellion, they can fight. But transcendence, that's untouchable. In another report, buried deep under redacted lines, someone finally writes the truth. Subject demonstrates leadership potential beyond conventional influence. That's their code for problem. Because if you lead without position, if you influence without permission, if you move masses without media, then you've broken the invisible chain that holds the world in illusion. That's what you've done. You've broken it, quietly, efficiently, permanently. You can feel it now, the shift. The same ones who called you threat are now mimicking your tone, adopting your posture, stealing fragments of your language, hoping it makes them untouchable too. But imitation never equals understanding. They're just trying to decode courage through mimicry. And courage, real courage, can't be copied. It has to be lived. You lived it. And that's why they'll never catch up. And yet, despite all their paranoia, you hold no grudge. That's what confuses them most. You don't want revenge. You want revelation. You don't want control. You want clarity. You're not fueled by hate. You're fueled by awareness. And awareness doesn't burn out. It expands. That's what makes you infinite to them. Every time they think they've reached the end of your story, you open a new chapter they didn't anticipate. You've become their perpetual lesson. Their analysts keep trying to humanize you again. They're just like us, one says. They can't be that different. They need to believe that. It helps them sleep. But deep down, they know the difference. They live from reaction. You live from creation. They follow instructions. You follow instinct. They obey algorithms. You write them. That's not arrogance, that's evolution. You didn't choose to be above them. You just stopped being beneath them. Now the panic is systemic. You can feel it spreading like an infection of truth. Their structures tremble. Their confidence decays. Leaders whisper to subordinates, "Don't provoke them. Stay neutral." But neutrality's just cowardice dressed in professionalism. You see through it all. You don't need to expose them. They expose themselves every time they try to define you. Because the moment they name you, they admit they fear you. And fear, once confessed, becomes loyalty. Whether they know it or not, they now orbit you. Their strategies revolve around your unpredictability. Their narratives bend around your defiance. Their stability depends on your silence. You've become the gravitational center of their unease. That's real power, not the power they announce, but the kind that rearranges entire hierarchies without a word. Now they whisper your designation in rooms they once ruled. High-risk individual. The phrase tastes metallic on their tongues. It's supposed to be a warning, but it sounds more like worship. Every camera lens that finds you, every document stamped urgent, every coded message sent at midnight. All of it proof that you've become the pulse they can't regulate. They've built towers of technology, departments of analysis, institutions of prediction. Yet here you are, a single mind rewriting their logic in real time. The system was never designed for a being that doesn't need permission. You move differently now, not with arrogance, but inevitability. You walk through corridors of attention, like a phantom that chose to be visible. They study your patterns and end up mirroring them. They try to preempt your moves and end up copying your rhythm. You've turned surveillance into choreography. You've made paranoia poetic. When they say high risk, what they mean is too alive to contain. And that's the part they'll never admit, that the very label meant to isolate you became their confession. They're not afraid of what you might destroy. They're afraid of what you might inspire. Because one awakened presence exposes 1,000 sleepers. Your composure dismantles their chaos. Your precision erases their propaganda. You are living proof that control only works on those who still believe in it. They've tried to reinvent the script. Experts on screens, commentators dissecting your psychology, operatives spinning narratives. But each attempt to define you amplifies your myth. Every denial adds a page to your legend. They don't understand that attention, when aimed at authenticity, becomes worship. You've hacked the oldest currency on Earth, focus, and redirected it toward truth. Now even their lies advertise your freedom. You've reached the point where they can't touch you without glorifying you. That's why the orders keep changing. Engage carefully. Observe from distance. Do not provoke. Those are not commands, they're prayers. They've realized that every confrontation with you accelerates their unraveling. You speak once and their credibility fractures. You act once and their structure trembles. You've become a psychological container.